This is the SpaRetailer Podcast, where we talk retail, business, and all things related to the hot tub industry. I'm your host, Megan Kendrick, owner of SpaRetailer Magazine. Today on the SpaRetailer Podcast, I have AJ Cada from Cada Pools and Spas out of St. Charles, Illinois. Thanks for coming on the podcast, AJ.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, a little bit of a surprise that you're doing a podcast. I think your staff signed you up without giving you the full details.
Yeah, we've been receiving the SpaRetailer magazine for years and years now. And personally, my favorite retailer magazine that's out there with the SpaRetailer. You guys do a great job with it. Great pieces. And she started reading it and she's like, oh, I love it. How do we get in? How do we get in? And I'm like, oh, reach out and see if there's anything we can do if you'd like to be featured. She got that done. And I'm like, all right, we'll do an interview, have some fun with it, photos, and gave us a good opportunity to rearrange and clean up our store too as well.
Oh, there you go.
Which worked out.
You're welcome for that.
Then just a few days before, maybe a week, something like that, she goes, oh, by the way, it's a podcast. I'm like, oh, you left that part out. I'm like, that's fine. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, nothing like a surprise podcast interview, but you know what? People sometimes get nervous about it. And it's like, you're just telling me about your life and your store. There's nothing you know better than your business. So we're just going to talk about it. It's no big deal at all.
It's generally just everyday conversation, except it's a podcast recording.
Yeah, exactly. So how did you get into the industry? Have you always been in St. Charles?
Born in St. Charles, grew up in Batavia, just 2 towns over. Let's see, graduated high school 2009. So most people would say I'm on the younger side.
Me included. So
yeah.
I get to be the young one on the podcast, but you got me beat.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so graduated 2009, went to community college for 2 years right after high school, got my associates. Wasn't really exactly sure what I wanted to do. And I'm like, do I want to go to school? Do I want to rack up all the debt? So I worked full-time during college too as well to pay for all that at a movie theater. Then I got into the hotel industry and the hospitality industry. So I worked at a hotel in Geneva, the town over, kind of a higher end European hotel. A lot of celebrities come through there, like Tom Hanks, for example, Kevin Bacon, big time celebrities and stars.
Yeah.
And then the hospitality industry was great. The hours are crazy. Wasn't really consistent with where I'd like my schedule to be. So one day my dad was like, hey, your grandfather has the pool business. Have you ever thought about that? And I go, yeah, I've given it some consideration. Yeah. And didn't really know anything, totally blind to the industry. I think I reached out to my uncle Brian and was like, hey, would there be any opportunity for me to join the business? And he said, yeah, of course. So joined up in 2012 is when I joined the Cada Pools and Spas team.
Okay.
And then, I've been doing it ever since. Have grown a lot, have learned a lot. Every year you learn and grow. There's always something, new technology, new science. It's a very intriguing industry.
That's pretty great that your family, no hesitation, said, yeah, go ahead. Let's get you in here. Where did they have you start when you joined?
I was definitely more interested on the retail operations. So started 2012, and then we actually moved into a bigger facility down the street in 2014 that was like 4 times the size of our other locations. So we really took that next step up in retail. Like for spas, we only had 4 or 5 spas on the floor in the old location. In this facility that we have now, there's a brick and mortar store. It was an old florist, but there's a brick and mortar store. And then there's a huge glass greenhouse nursery where they had all the flowers and potted plants.
Okay.
So they went in there, rehabbed it because it was a foreclosure. But that greenhouse facility, you can keep 25, 30, 35 spas in there, but which were around the 25 range.
That's so interesting. That's got to make for a really unique looking showroom.
It is. It's a little bit of an upkeep because there is windows that we can open. It does get hot out there with all the glass.
Sure.
Winters get a little cold. We don't heat it, but we found a way to make it work. And it's really inviting. Customers like it. You get all the natural lighting through that greenhouse too, versus being in a store and under all your pretty fancy lights. It's like, no, this is like how it's going to look in your backyard. People like that aspect.
Yeah, you know what? We talk about that quite a bit in the magazine is how do you bring the outdoors in and give your customer like the experience of what it'll actually be like in their backyard. And yeah, not quite the same thing, but yeah, a little bit more of a realistic vision of what this will look like and feel like when they get it
Yeah,
home.
it's about as close to you can get it, I don't know, unless you put the spas outside.
Like, yeah, exactly. So how did the company get started?
Oh, so my grandfather first started he started in the pool side of things, right?
Okay.
Back in, I believe it was, this is a long time ago. I believe it was back in the 60s. He was running a motel down in Branson, Missouri with my
Okay.
great grandfather, and they wanted to one day they're like, "Oh, let's put a pool on property, right?" And so I forget who came down, but someone came down from up north, gave them a little rundown on what they need to do to build the pool. They're going to supply them the materials. But he built his first pool with dynamite. So they actually drilled holes into the concrete rock because it's all bedrock down there,
Yeah.
and blew everything up. And then they excavated everything out to start forming the shape of the pool. Like I said, long time ago.
Yeah, I feel like this is the story that you hear in the pool side of the industry a lot, right? Is we needed a pool, so we just built one ourselves, and then we're like, hey, we could
Yeah.
probably make money doing this. But I've never heard it's never been told to me with dynamite being involved in it. So that's
Yeah, that bedrock is tough stuff. So they had to drill holes, fill it with dynamite, blow it up, then excavate all the rubble out to start building and forming the pool. So you don't really hear of that these days.
yeah, that's pretty that's wild.
Fast forward, they move back up to here in the St. Charles area. They were home builders. So that was the primary source of income, building homes.
Okay.
Then it was, I believe in the 80s is when the mortgage rates just went through the roof. They were 15, 16, 17, 18%.
Yeah.
And so building went
Gosh, can
down.
you imagine? We're like crying over six.
It's a different world from then and
Right?
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But someone in the area caught wind that my grandfather knew how to build pools. So he was planning on putting a pool in the backyard anyways, because he knew how to do it. He was building
Yeah.
his own home there. And he kind of word of mouth just spread that he could build a pool, built a pool, then built another pool, and was like, maybe I could make a business out of this and
Yeah.
kind of phase out of the home building or do a little bit of that, do a little bit of the pools and see where things go. So they incorporated in 1981, started doing chemicals out of the garage, all the supplies out of the garage,
Okay.
moved into a smaller shop, and then just kept growing. So we're on our third location right now, which you could say I think is around, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's like around 10, 11,000 square feet as far as our
Okay.
showroom. But it just slowly just growed and growed. With this new location, they really wanted to get into the more retail side of things because the old
Mhm.
location just wasn't really that big. It was in a little bit of a shopping complex. Now we're in a standalone building on a giant piece of property where we can keep all our equipment in the back and show a lot of spas and everything that comes with retail.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I feel like your that progression follows like the industry as a whole, right? And the maturity of the industry where it's started in our garages and backyards, grew to a warehousey type sales situation. And now a lot of retailers are it's gone from that to how do we provide like this luxury retail showroom experience. And so it's interesting how your progression kind of follows like how I view the maturity of the hot tub industry as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm technically third generation. So, grandfather started it, uncles are running it. My father was never involved with it. And then I just popped up one day and I'm still here. They're stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah. So, what were some of the things when you're looking for this new showroom? What were some of the things that you were hoping to find? What were some of the things on the wish list as far as this is our hopes and dreams for our next location?
When you think about like spas, they're very large pieces of equipment. So, you need to be able to have a big garage door to get in and out with a forklift with those large
Yeah.
spas, especially swim spas. A standalone building, it helps out extremely with freight trucks being able to navigate throughout your building. Those 53-foot freight trucks can drive all the way around our building like a giant circle. So it's very easy getting in and out, very easy unloading pretty much anything you want. So that makes things a lot easier. We don't have to store extra equipment on offsite storage facilities. We can keep everything on one site, having enough office space too as well. So it just it fell in our lap. I don't even think they were looking. I think someone mentioned it to them and they were like, let's just go take a look. It's right down the street. And they rehabbed it and everything actually just worked out in the end. Nothing was planned and it was a good pop-up decision.
Yeah. And that's what happens sometimes. It's in business, it's all about are you ready to take advantage of the opportunities when they come? And so it sounds like that was a good one.
Yeah, even if you're not looking for something, you always want to be prepared in case something pops up because anything can happen at any time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What's it like for you working with family? You hear all kinds of tales, and our industry is built on family businesses, and
So,
sometimes it's smooth sailing, and sometimes it's not. It's rocky.
yeah, I could sit here and sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, it's the best thing ever." But just like any business, every business has their ups and downs, right? You have your good times, you got your bad times, you got your times where everything's clicking on all cylinders, everyone's firing on all cylinders. And you have times where there's disagreements and you don't see eye to eye with decisions that are being made or the direction of the business. But family can get a little tough. You talk to anyone that's family that has worked in a family business, I guarantee you they will tell you that it is the hardest business to be in out of anything else out there. So especially with like me and my two uncles, we all have a little bit of different viewpoints on things.
Mhm.
But once we can figure it out and push everything together, I think that's where we're dangerous. But it does take effort and time, and trying to
Yeah.
see eye to eye is not always the easiest. But at the end of the day, we always figure out a way to get it done and make it work.
Yeah, it's like there's that added layer of personal when you're working with family.
Mm.
But there's also the kind of you're really stuck with each other in a way that you aren't in another business situation. And so you also really I think, have to work harder to make it work than you sometimes otherwise would because you got to see each other like at holidays and you got to do all the family stuff together. And so it's really hard to just let things lie. You really have to deal with everything. You can't ignore stuff. You can, but I think it makes it harder to ignore stuff because you're faced with it wherever you go.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah, it's not meant for everybody, but for some people, they really enjoy it.
Yeah. So what's the leadership structure then with between like you and your uncles and then is your grandpa, is he still involved in the business?
No, grandfather passed a while back, so unfortunately he's no longer with us. But he definitely helped set the stepping stones for everything that we have right now. So he was a huge role in this. But my uncles, so we have different divisions of the company that we run. So Tom, he runs the construction side of the business, building in-ground pools, liner replacements, auto covers. We're starting to do a lot more renovation and rehab just because not a lot of people really
Sure.
want to dip their toes in that. And then there's Brian with Grandma and Grandpa no longer around. He oversees the overall aspect of the business, especially like the accounting side as things too as well, because that's always fun stuff, paying bills,
Yeah.
making sure the numbers are good, making sure you're doing well and you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then there's me. So I see over the entire retail operations, but I also have a major role in overseeing and helping like our maintenance department, which is taking care of people's pools and hot tubs, making sure that's staying organized and everything's working out. A major role in overseeing and helping with our service department too as well, making sure that they have everything they need for success and any helps or any training tips as that. So I have a little bit of a role in everything else except for construction. I don't really do a whole lot in that,
Yeah.
but I know a lot about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And but that also I feel like in family businesses having that clear kind of division of labor and leadership, I think helps a lot too to keep everything running smoothly and everyone in their lane and out of each other's hairs whenever
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this morning we went to go, I sold a spa last week and the guy wanted us to take it out so he could redo the base of the spa before we install a new one. And a lot of times when I'm on the floor, when I handle all the sales with the spas, a lot of people don't realize I'm probably going to be the one installing your spa as well, which is very uncommon for salespeople.
Absolutely.
Salespeople don't really get their hands dirty. They don't go out in the field much. So when we showed up this morning, we pull into his driveway. He goes, "Oh, you weren't kidding. You really are going to come pull my spot out." I go, "Yeah, I wasn't. I'm here. Let's do it."
That is so funny.
So customers actually like to see that. They like to see that you're a little bit more involved, that you're not just a sales guy. It's no, I know the ins and outs of the spas. I know what it takes to remove these. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they suck.
Oh man, you know what? There is definitely some comfort in that for sure. We just had a salesperson sell us a door, our front door. We had to have it replaced and it definitely doesn't fit. The people came to install it and it's surprise. But if the salesman had ever installed a door before, he probably would have known some of the things that went wrong.
Yes, absolutely. And it as a salesperson, I actually like it because it actually makes my job so much easier knowing the ins and outs and the miscellaneous ticky tacky things that might need to be addressed with installing a door or installing a hot tub.
You guys are celebrating an anniversary this year for your business, or was that 2024? Have I
Next year, 2026, we'll be celebrating 45 years.
Oh, there you go. See, I was still off.
You were
So
right, but you were right there.
45 years in 2026. That's quite the milestone for any small business.
Oh, especially just throughout the roller coaster of the economy throughout
Absolutely.
45 years of being open. It's been there, done that, seen that, survived the recessions and still here, still thriving.
And COVID. You got to throw that one in there.
It's these recessions are always different. It's like nobody can predict them. It's like just when you think you've seen it all, oh wait, oh something else pops up.
This is so true, but as a still fairly new in owning a small business myself, I always take so much comfort from other people in the industry. When something goes wrong or whatever, they're like, Megan, like the hot tub industry is still here. We're not going anywhere. Calm down. Like these things work themselves out.
Yeah, it's wild. I think I just saw that Warren Buffett just added Pool Corp to his stock portfolio.
I
And
saw
I was
that
like,
too.
oh, what does Warren Buffett know?
I know. Yeah. Maybe a thing or two about how
Maybe a
this
thing
stuff
or
works
two.
out. Maybe a thing or two.
Ex-
So being third generation, I'm curious because I think again, talk about a lot of family businesses and you have the different generations and that turnover and changeover from generation to generation. So as a third generation member of this family business, how do you keep yourself engaged and excited about the business? Because I think the tale kind of goes, you start with the founder and they have the most passion for the business, and then it wanes from generation to generation. So how do you keep that alive and engaged and keep yourself excited about what you're doing?
That actually that's a very good question. That question actually reminds me of a BioGuard conference I was at. We were actually, not to get off track, but we were in the pool, right? Poolside having drinks, BioGuard conference, and there was an older couple that actually walked over to me and was like, "Hey, what do you guys do?" And I'm like, "Oh, we have this and that." And they're like, "All right, can I ask you a question?" Yeah. How do us older people, how do we relate to the younger generations?
Yeah.
Because we feel like we're so disconnected to them, like just being able to relate and just talk to them in daily conversation. And I was like, I mean, you're talking a 40-year age gap between people, sometimes 50 years with them. And I go, I think technology and the way that people talk, and there's different verbiage, different slang. Technology is just Technology's changing every single day. I think really just try your best to keep up with the trends. I think trends are a huge thing. Everyone always wants to be trendy. What's trendy in the spa industry? What's trendy in the pool industry? Well, pools are being built this way, spas are being built that way. These are the colors. But it's hard. It's literally an everyday thing staying up with trends within every industry that's out there. But trends can keep you motivated. They can keep you excited. There's new things coming out, new technology, but it's a lot of work to stay up to date with it. I think that's a big key role is basically you want to be able to stay relevant because if as soon as you're not relevant, you become old and no one wants to be a dinosaur.
I think that's sometimes the beauty in family businesses too, is that as the next generation comes up, they bring with them some of that technology that maybe the earlier generation wasn't comfortable with. And yeah, I think when everybody in the business is open to see to those changes and going for it, yeah, I think that's a great way to keep not just young people, that next generation of owners and leaders in your business excited about what they're doing because they feel like they have a real stake in the outcome and a real role to play in moving the business forward.
Oh, absolutely. It could be something as simple as like when hot tubs are being able to be controlled by an app on your phone. That's new technology. That's a new trend. You want to make sure that like when that is becoming more popular with consumers, that you're up to date with all that. And
Yeah.
some older generations really struggle with staying up to date on the technology. So having those younger generations who can take care of that makes things a whole lot easier. And it's one less thing you have to worry about too.
So true. Say hello to SpaBot, the world's first hands-free automatic spa cleaner. Cleaning a hot tub has never been easier than with the Polaris SpaBot robotic cleaner. This first ever automatic spa cleaner introduces special Spa Nav technology designed to maneuver around the small, confined spaces typical of in-ground spas and portable hot tubs. Providing the ultimate hands-free convenience of automated cleaning, SpaBot is completely cordless and cleans in just 60 minutes. Learn more at polarispool.com. People are always like, they assume since I am of a certain age that like I know a lot about social media and am into it and
You
are
should know
excited by it.
everything because you're in your 30s.
40,
40.
41.
We'll go 39.
Yeah, but no, not at all. Could not care less. And so yeah, so we have to hire people younger than me to do that because it's not in my wheelhouse, or at least I don't want it to be. I guess that is the main point, right?
Yeah, sometimes there's a thing as too much information is not always the best.
As you look towards the future of the business, what are some things that you're seeing, or what are some things that are exciting you about what's to come, or what you guys can work on next?
As far as the future of the business, during COVID, that was the craziest years we've ever had, right? The industry, as far as the spa industry, the pool industry, those are the best years we've ever seen, as long as the industry's ever been a thing. So it's like, how do you get better than that? Very grateful to be able to be in this industry during those extremely tough times.
Hmm.
Some good times for some people, very bad times for others. So thankful for that.
Yeah.
But as far as spas, just staying up to date, trying to help our spa manufacturer with things that we're seeing consumers prefer, to seeing if we can maybe get those changes done in the future, because you always want to listen to consumer feedback because
Right.
they are the ones that keep you in business. Pools, were so many pools built during COVID, all those pools are going to need to be serviced, right? Even
Mhm.
if for some reason building is not where it went, where you want it to be, we do a lot of service. So being able to grow our service territory, get more properly trained staff, more trucks, because there's a lot of builders out there that don't build, and we're a rarity with retail, maintenance, service,
Yeah.
operations. So if one area is struggling, we can focus on another area to grow. So all those pools out there are going to need pumps, filters, heaters, lino or vinyl liner replacements, painting. They're going to need to be upkept. So a lot of pools out there to be upkept, a lot of hot tubs out there to be able to upkept, focusing on that too as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I started in the industry in 2008 and in the middle of the recession. And it was really interesting because you did see this switch from really focusing on sales to making sure that service departments were in shape and actually like revenue generators.
Mhm.
And so I'm curious to see if that also comes around in this downturn or when sales are slow for hot tubs right now, if that's a focus that people will take. And I am seeing that. People aren't talking about it maybe as much as I would like them to, but there's
Right.
definitely something that people are seem to be spending more time on again and making sure that they have some of that recurring revenue coming in from service, whether it's valet programs for hot tubs or just repairs or whatever it may be, or even working on used hot tub divisions in their company. I always think it's interesting to see the efficiencies and innovation that come out of companies when it's a necessity.
Yeah, with all the hot tubs that were sold, it was a great opportunity for more exposure within the
Yeah.
hot tub industry because more of that product is in people's backyards. And people like to have their fancy toys, cars, technology hot tubs. And people like to be proud of what they have and kind of show things off. So people get talking more. Yeah, I just got a new hot tub. Come on over. We'll grill some steaks, have some beers, have a good time. And that kind of travels from, hey, what'd you do last weekend? Oh, we were over at so and so's house. They just got a hot tub. Oh, really? I have other friends who just got one too. oh, maybe we should look into one. I've always wanted one.
Yeah, it is one of those things where it's like the word spreads. Because yeah, there's a little bit of the also the keeping up
Mhm.
with the Joneses, right? Where it's, oh, they got a hot tub. We should get a hot tub.
We've been thinking about it, and it's like that extra push to let's look a little bit more into it. And then all of a sudden, you walk in somewhere, it's oh, perfect timing. We got a sale going on, and
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What are some areas that you think that you feel like you guys really excel at as a company? What are some things that you're like, you know what, that is something that we can hang our hat on?
one thing I could tell you that we really excel at is customer service. I think we are the creme de la creme of customer service. Not just because that's how I feel, it's because we get a lot of feedback from other customers just saying how responsive we are, how up to date we are on things, following up on things, making sure that things are getting done correctly. Just like your door thing, we're making sure that we're getting you the right door, that your door is going to fit, right? We want to get that sale, but it's like we also, all right, let's make sure that we're getting what we need and what that is, that's also going to work. We use Podium, which is nice, which is like basically your 24/7 chat. We tell people, text us whenever. We may not respond at 3 o'clock in the morning, but we'll see it, right? So that way we can know what's going on. But we get a lot of feedback from a lot of customers and a lot of people that don't even use our services going, wow, you guys respond back so quickly and you're always staying on top of things. And it's so hard just to even get other companies just to pick up their phone. I'm like,
I was going to ask you, I'm glad you mentioned Podium because I was going to ask you, how do you stay on top of that? Because it is a struggle for a lot of small businesses, right? It's like the deluge some days just really gets to you. Is there anything other than Podium that you use or systems that you've implemented to help keep on top of all of it?
I think Podium. We used another company previously, and then we switched over to Podium. They had some other features that we really liked, but we use it as a team. And when we got it, we went over with all the retail staff and even our service guys, going, "No, hey, this is a great product for all of us to use, keep tabs on, and that way, say if I'm talking to a customer about a product or a quote." Or just general conversation, and I'm not there and they have questions, you have that as a reference that you can access on your phone, your computer at any time, anywhere that you want. So it's a great feature that everyone just really likes to have, and it's very user friendly, which is also nice.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things from people in the industry about Podium and pretty much nothing but great feedback about it. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Podium, everybody give it a look because yeah, it seems to work pretty well for the people that I know that use it.
It does, and Podium's great. They're very responsive. Their tech support is great. They get back to you right away. They follow up. They want to make sure that you're getting a product that what you want, and make sure that what you're paying for is what you think you're going to utilize the most.
AJ, is there anything else we haven't touched on about Cada Pools and spas that you think is special or unique or important?
Man, we've covered a lot so far. It's like I touched base earlier, been in business for 45 years now, four divisions of a company, which is very rare. You go to all these shows and conferences and you talk to everyone, and it's almost everyone you talk to is no, we just build, or we're just service, or we're just retail, or we do a little bit of service in retail. It's very rare that we run into other companies across the country that do it all. So it's something that has worked out very well for us, but it also keeps you trained in all the different departments and aspects of the industry too, as well. Because a lot of builders really don't know much about retail and spas and chemicals. Chemical wise, we like to call ourselves the chemistry experts in the area. I had a sales rep, it was a Brett Peterman. I think he got a hat made for me that says the water wizard on it, which is quite funny. But we really specialize in making sure we know the ins and outs of every single product we're selling. That way, for any type of issue that comes in, we know how to handle it. That's our bread and butter. And if we don't know how to handle it or don't know how to fix it, we will make sure that we figure out a way to fix it. So yeah, water chemistry and chemicals, that's a huge specialty with us. I think we do five to 6,000 water tests every summer.
Oh my gosh.
So quite a few.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. I'm not sure anyone's ever told me like how many water tests they do a summer, but I don't know. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, 5 to 6,000. It's probably a little bit more, but we could say around that range. But it's there hasn't been an issue we haven't seen. So we covered all. There are people that come in and I've had a pool for 40 years. I'm like, I've never seen this before. That's easy. Here's this, here's that. Follow up in 2 days. It's a 2-day process. We'll get it done. Or it's, I've had all these issues. I've never had that before. It's,
Yeah.
no, we haven't seen that in a while. Oh, nope, know how to fix that too. We got you. And then consumers like that confidence. It's not like we're stumbling to figure things out or we're sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know about this. We really pride ourselves in making sure that we are the experts in the area at what we do. I always like to tell my staff, when people come in to test their water, it's like walking into a doctor's office, right? You're walking in to get your blood work. You're walking in to do a urine sample. You want to know what your levels are at. And then that doctor will take those levels and make recommendations to you on what needs to be done. We're a doctor's office for water care, whether it's for pools, whether it's for hot tubs. And customers want to be able to walk in and get a confident answer
Right.
and what they need to do to fix their pool water, their spa water, and then to maintain it to make sure that these issues don't happen again. And we always try to do things the most cost effective way because we know they're expensive and not pools and spas are not always in everyone's everyday life of budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to do things the most cost effective way, but also to make sure that their water stays crystal clear.
And we all know that's the most intimidating part of owning a hot tub for people, right? And you want to make sure you can instill that confidence because, like, you're already intimidated by it. You already don't enjoy that part of owning a hot tub. And so, yeah, walking into a store, having someone come out and then be, and them also being perplexed by it does not instill a lot of confidence.
No, absolutely not. And we're a very transparent company, hence why we've been able to be in business for so long. Someone could walk through the door and they could be like, hey, we're looking at buying a house with a pool. And they're really excited. And I'm like, okay, have you done much research on pools? No,
Yeah.
no, but we're going to make an offer on the house. Okay. Would you want to know what operating costs of the pool are? Yeah, please. We'd love to know. So you sit down and you go over X, Y, and Z, pool openings, closings, maintenance, running your heater, your pump. Best case scenario, here's what you're looking at. Worst case scenario, here's what you're looking at. And
Yeah.
people really appreciate that because it gives them a better idea of what is this pool going to cost me to operate it, because it's not in everyone's budget. Not everyone can afford it or necessarily wants to afford it. A lot of people really appreciate the transparency that we offer because we're just here to help.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, we're a business. We do need to make money to live a life, but we want to make sure that we're taking care of our customers because we want them to come back.
To your point about not very many companies doing it all, it's interesting because I think one of the reasons you see that is because it's so hard to do it all well.
Oh, absolutely. There's a
You know,
lot of moving pieces.
yeah, it really is. And it sounds like you guys have it set up well, because I think where people get into trouble is you do pool construction and then you try to add retail on top of that. And they're completely different businesses.
Mhm.
They do not operate in the same way. And if you don't have the resources or the people to really take ownership of the retail side of your business, it's really hard to manage both of those and do a good job at them. And so it sounds like you guys have at least the right people in place to be able to give them the bandwidth to focus on each kind of separate business unit as its own thing, because I think that's the key to being able to offer all of those services is and do them well, is to have enough people in place to actually be able to focus on each of them separately.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot always going on
Yeah.
with all the different divisions. Say if construction is slow, that's, oh man, construction's slow, but service is crazy right now. Or maybe service is a little bit slow. Construction is going crazy. There's always something happening, which is nice, but also just keeps us very well educated on everything that's going on. Just because our service guys, they'll go out and do pool openings and closings and repairs, but we also train them to go out and clean pools and do the chemistry. That way they're trained on that too as well. And a lot of those guys, they know a decent amount about construction. So that way, if they're out in the field and they're talking to customers, they're a little bit well versed and well educated on the other aspects of the business, which I feel like a lot of people like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure it helps keep them employed. Like you said, it's like one division is doing better than an
It does. It helps to have those extra set of skills.
yeah. Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine. All right. So are you ready to do the Spa Retailer 5? All right. So do you remember the first hot tub you ever sold and the details around that?
Oh man, let's see. I got to think back here. Started 2012 at the shop. That was a crazy year. It was 80 degrees out. in March, and we already had 20, 30 pools open. People were swimming in March here in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah,
So it was
that's
crazy.
not normal.
Oh, in March, people were sitting out in front of the shop getting their water tested, and I'm brand new. And I'm like, is this normal? And they're like, no, this is not normal.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn as much as I would hope to that first year because it was so crazy with how warm that weather is. So not a whole lot of time for training that year. But the second
Yeah.
year took a big step into training. I started dabbling a little bit with spas. So 2013 made my first spa sale. I believe it was a Emerald M870. So the Emerald Manor Series 8-person spa, 70 jets, fully loaded. And I believe they were still making the spas where they had the towel warmer built into the cabinet. So
Oh,
that was like real bougie back in the day. You got your towel warmer. So on a cold
yeah.
night, you take out a nice warm towel to dry yourself off.
Honestly, that sounds amazing. Like, why did that go away? I'm
I
into
don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe we need to take a look at that again and see if we can
Yeah.
make that a thing.
Yeah. And Emerald isn't around anymore. So we can't go
No,
back and have them resurrect it.
no, I don't. It's probably a sore subject for the owner because he closed down right before COVID happened and spas kind of took off.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020. You make the best decision you can with the information you have, and you can't look back.
Correct.
It's funny that you bring that up because I feel like just recently I was looking for what are some towel warmer options to have with your hot tub, and I was having a hard time finding some like portable things, and little did I know that I could have had it built into my hot tub the whole time.
Yeah, it was built in right into the cabinet. It
Mhm.
wasn't very large, but it was enough to do what you
Yeah.
wanted it to do.
That's so interesting. That is one of the reasons why I love asking that question is because I will learn things about spas or about specific models or whatever. I had no idea before. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't even remember about that until you just asked me that question, and that's what made me remember it. And I was like, "Oh man, they had the towel warmers back in the day, huh?"
Yeah, that's pretty great. What was your first real job?
My first real job was I started working at the local movie theater, Randall 15 IMAX. So we had the IMAX theater. We had the biggest theater in the state of Illinois. Worked there for a few years, worked there for 40 hours a week when I was going to school for full time to make sure I could get all that stuff paid for. That was a fun industry. Got to learn how to put in the film upstairs to get all the
Yeah.
movies going, all the working on all the reels, and then it came down to just learning how to make popcorn. We made the best popcorn.
What would you say is the worst idea that you've tried in your business? Does anything come to mind where you're like, it was just a flop?
Worst idea in our business. That is a very, very good question. I don't know if anyone's actually even asked me that before.
It can be hard to think of it. Like it could have been a product, or maybe you tried an event or a marketing campaign or something where you're just like, this is the ticket. And then, when it was all said and done, it was just not worth your effort.
I don't know. I'll be totally honest. I don't know if there's really anything that just comes to mind that was like, it was an epic failure. We try to, anytime we do some big changes or anything, we really try to sit down like, all right, let's think about this before we do it. Here's the pros. What are the pros? What are the cons? Could this turn into just a huge disaster and a flop? So we
Yeah.
really try and make sure our ducks in a row before we do anything.
That's probably good. As soon as we get off, you're going to be like, oh, you know what? I remember there was this one thing.
You know what? You're probably right. As soon as this podcast is done, it's going to come to mind. I'm really like, oh, shoot.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that being the answer to that one. All the better for it.
Definitely.
Can you think of something that was maybe one of the best things that you've brought to the business? One of the better ideas that you guys have done?
Better ideas. I think it's just really trying to enhance the customer experience with making sure the store is laid out, making sure things are labeled properly,
Yeah.
the greenhouse showroom, making sure that you're really utilizing that space to show that product, making sure just the outside of the building, want to make sure that's appealing. We have about, I think it's 25,000 cars that drive past our store every day. You want to make sure your store stands out. One thing that we did about, we think we did this several years ago was we put one of those large LED screens out front.
Okay.
That way we can display all our high-res pictures and videos for consumers to see, which really stands out, which not many people have in our city. So I think that was one thing that really helped just show a little bit more exposure to customers. Like, hey, we are here, just because a lot of people drive with blinders. It used to be where, oh, I drive past you every day. I didn't know you were here. We're like, okay, maybe we need a big LED sign that'll show that for people. So I think that was a
Yeah.
really good decision of something that we made to just enhance our exposure.
Yeah, I really like that. It's something that I feel like we probably don't talk about enough in the magazine, but yeah, what a great showpiece for your store. And especially like you said, when you're in an area that gets a lot of traffic, those things can make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, and you want to stand out. So it's like, how do we accomplish that? And I think that was something that was a very good idea that has definitely helped drive more foot traffic into our store, being able to stand out like that.
Do you have a favorite book or TV show or podcast, something that you either turn to just for pure relaxation and entertainment or maybe to learn from?
I listen to a little bit of everything, whether it's you could have one topic and there's two sides of the topic that don't disagree. I like to listen to both sides to see what what A is talking about and to see what B is talking about. But I listen to a bazillion podcasts, whether you're talking about sports, politics, cryptocurrency, whatever it is, something random in the world. Podcasts are great. I watch almost every TV show out there. If you name a TV show, I've probably watched it. I am like that guy that like has to know the new TV show that's coming out and I have to watch it, even
Yep.
if I binge it in 2 nights.
I can relate. I'm a little bit like that myself. I like to be in the know. Maybe
Yes.
that's why I'm a journalist, but it's
Yes.
yeah, I want to know. I need to know. I need to know what's
I need to
going
know. I need to know. Well, I like staying relevant on things. I don't like being that guy in the conversation where I don't know what's going on. I always want to know what is going on, what's happening. I like staying in the loop and up to date on whatever is happening in the world. So that's something about me. So whether it's TV shows, movies, podcasts, anything like that.
Jay, thank you so much for coming up on this podcast and doing this today. It was really
Yeah.
fun. It was great to get to know you and learn more about your store.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me. I wouldn't be on here if it wasn't for Aria. She is my maintenance manager. So she's the one that really pushed me to do this. She's always telling me, boss, you got to do podcasts. You got to start your podcast. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never done it. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I think this was a good stepping stone.
Yeah, good for her. People always are asking, how do I get in the magazine? How do we get featured? And you just got to be a go-getter like Aria and
Oh,
send
she
us an
definitely is.
email and we'll get you on the list and check it out and probably get you in there. So
Yeah, never hurts to reach out. What's the worst case scenario? No, sorry.
exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
The Spa Retailer Podcast is a production of Spa Retailer Magazine. Let us know what you think by leaving a review or emailing us at podcast@sparetailer.com. Thanks for listening.